Are you struggling with how to remove the required attribute from parameters in your Swagger UI? You're not alone. Today, we're diving into a common issue that many developers face when working with XML comments in their controllers. I totally get it. It can be really frustrating when your API documentation doesn't reflect the flexibility you want in your parameters. You're not the only one who has run into this problem, and it's a common hurdle for many developers. Here's the specific question we're addressing today. One user asked, how can I change the required attribute on some of the parameters in my controllers using XML comments for Swagger? If this sounds like your situation, stick around as we explore the solution together. So why does this happen? The required attribute in Swagger UI is often set by default based on your model's properties. Understanding how XML comments interact with Swagger can help us find a way to customize this behavior. And don't go anywhere. At the end of this video, I'll share a quick tip that can help you streamline your API documentation process even further. To begin addressing the user's question, we need to locate the XML comments in the controller where the parameters are defined. This is essential for modifying the required attribute. Next, the user should identify the specific parameters that need the required attribute changed. This involves reviewing the XML documentation closely. Now, the user can modify the XML comments to remove the required attribute. This is done by adjusting the XML tags associated with those parameters. After making these changes, the user should rebuild the project to ensure that the modifications take effect. This step is crucial for updating the Swagger UI. Finally, the user can check the Swagger UI to confirm that the required attribute has been successfully removed from the specified parameters. Fun fact, did you know that Swagger was originally created by a company called Wordnik? It has since evolved into a powerful tool for API documentation. Now let's look at the answers provided by other users. An alternative approach suggests evaluating whether your parameter is truly required. If it has a sensible default value, you can make it optional in the API signature. For instance, setting an integer parameter like ID to 0 makes it optional in Swagger UI. If your parameter is not required, consider using a nullable type. This allows for more flexibility, especially if you want to handle null inputs differently. Another option is to use the Swagger default value attribute. This allows you to keep the parameter required while displaying a default value in Swagger UI, rather than marking it as required. Here's that quick tip I promised. Always document your API changes in a changelog. This will help you and your team keep track of modifications and improve collaboration. And there you have it. You've successfully removed the required attribute from your parameters in Swagger UI. Remember, keeping your API documentation clear and flexible is essential. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe for more tips and tricks.